Today I am a little way from home. I'm in Sydney to have a look at the new Crow's Nest metro station before it opens up to the general public later this year. So I've already had a quick look around. It's very new, it's very snazzy, a lot like, you know, the Crossrail stations or whatever that we're used to in London. So let's have a look at the new Crow's Nest station. It looks fantastic, let's go.
So Crow's Nest is located on the city and southwest portion of the metro, which is set to extend the line from Chatswood to Sydenham later this year, with a section to Bankstown following later on. The station has two entrances, one on Clarke Street and one on Pacific Highway. We'll return to the Clarke Street entrance later, but for now, let's start our look around the station from the Pacific Highway entrance.
Oh.
The path to access the station is unfinished. Indeed, you can see it's actually just a sub-base that isn't even flush with the doors yet. So clearly there's still some work left to go before opening.
Ooh. Here we go.
The station has a bright and airy entrance hall with an art installation on the left and a set of large windows on the right. Posters are provided with details of onward travel information through bus links, as well as a map of the rail network showing the metro's extension to Sydenham.
There's a lot of people here. Escalators down there, information over there. Yeah, I like it already. And there goes the lift.
Concourse.
Entrance, 3 escalators, lift there. So that you've got barriers there and the ticket machines and stuff at the lower level rather than at the street level. Oh, I like that art. Just spotted it on the lift. There's like nice art showing what looks like the construction of a tram line or something, which is nice. An old photograph. Anyway. So there's a sign there, platforms, gate line here. Looks very similar to the gate lines we have in the UK, which is interesting. Yeah, look, you've got the slots for the tickets and everything, so that's an exported design. There's always the TV crews here. Lifts, and then escalators down there, or over there.
My name is John Webster. I'm currently the subject matter expert for Sydney Metro and pedestrian planning. And this station, Crow's Nest, I first worked on Crow's Nest about 15, 16 years ago, where the task was simply how big is the box going to be? Because at that point that would give them a high level cost of all the stations. And you simply do that by working out how big does the escalator need to be, and then how many escalators do you have. So that's my involvement. And then at the concept and reference design, I led the pedestrian modelling of these stations using simulation modelling. So it's good to see it all come through into real bricks and mortar, so to speak.
Over here there's a bunch of toilets as well. Oh, a lot of toilets. Wow, that's a lot of toilets for a single station. Toilet review. They're just toilets, really. Hello. So there is a baby changing area, sink, toilet. Not too much to say, it's just a toilet, but it is very smart, it is very new. So that's good to see. One of the things that keeps catching me out while I've been travelling around Sydney is that people here stand on the left of the escalator rather than the right, and that keeps confusing me. I keep standing on the right and then like annoying people just because muscle memory. Anyway, I can start to see the platforms now. Let's have a look. Look at this, very big, very grand. Ooh. So we've got departure screens there. Yeah, it's not showing anything. And then platform screen doors, obviously, because it's a new station. And they have a map as well above the doors showing where the trains come from and where it's going to, with the new bit that's opening up through to Sydenham, and then that will be extended further in the future. So it seems like the station is constructed in a box or something, so it reminds me of somewhere like Paddington Crossrail, or somewhere like that.
I'm a construction manager with the builder. Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been on this station, on this project?
2.5 years. Yeah.
Okay, so it must have been quite the transformation in that time.
Yeah, it's come a long way in that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
9,845 hand cut pavers. So if you look at the
Oh
floor
wow!
here,
Yeah.
every one of these pavers are individually hand cut.
Wow.
There's also 75% of the power source to build this station was renewable energy. So 75% of it.
So we've come in from that entrance there. This looks like another entrance. So let's have a look at this. What's going on here?
So yes, this is the Clarke Street entrance where I filmed the intro earlier. There's 2 lifts and 2 escalators to take you to the top, where you'll find a decent-sized oversight development above the station, as well as a little display about the metro as a whole.
So this looks similar to the art at the other entrance.
Lift going up. Concourse. Please stand clear of the doors.
So from this entrance we've got maps, a screen there which will presumably give departures one day, but right now it just says testing underway. A single ticket machine? Not 100% sure how I feel about that. I feel like there should always be at least 2 in case it goes. Likewise, card only machine, so anyway. And then we've got gates here, which, I mean, these are just the same gates as we get in Britain. They've blocked off the things for the tickets, so it's just the Opal card. Anyway, and then through to the big old concourse, lifts in the middle. Oh, you can see between the 2 lifts.
Lift going down.
So we're racing the other lift, and then we look over here. There's the platform.
Lift going up.
And you were telling me earlier that, like the lifts, for example, you've got 2 lifts, and that's a Sydney Metro standard.
Sydney Metro is to have 2 lifts going to platform. Absolutely. These ones are back to back, which is a little bit unusual. Usually the doors are facing inwards towards each other. So if you're between the doors, you can take the next lift that arrives.
Yes.
Whereas here, you could be waiting here and the lift arrives at the other side.
Yeah.
But it takes up more space. So it's all dependent on the spatial provision that you have.
So although we're at the platform level, I've been told that there's no trains running today. I was hoping might see a few passing through on test, but apparently that was cancelled last minute for whatever reason. I guess a safety thing, because it's still, well, testing. But yeah, very bright, spacious platform. I'm a fan. Like the light. I like the signage. Sorry. I like the lighting as well. Alright, here we go. So we've got the accessible carriage here, clearly marked. I mean, I would assume that on a new system there's level boarding anyway, but nonetheless, you know, there is still a wheelchair space on the train that's marked here. It could be more clearly marked, in my opinion. I feel like you could have something above the doors, like a big wheelchair symbol there, but still, it's good to see that there has been at least some thought put into that. So there's a bunch of people that's just sort of got off the escalators there, and then there's this sort of area marked out that's a different colour. So what were you just telling me that's interesting about this area?
There's a standard runoff area for escalators of 6 metres, and I think that's what this area shows. And it's a subtle hint for people not to stand in this area, because we're trying to keep the runoff and run on for the escalator clear of people. What happens if a train misses a headway? You've got twice as many people getting off the train. So all the platforms have certain degraded modes they also have to work through. What happens if an escalator fails? So there's always, whilst there's 2 there and there's 2 over there, it actually needs 3 for the demand. So one of these will be spared.
As a civil engineer, this is one of the real perks of the job. You build something tangible, you build something that's going to create a positive environment and really benefit the people who are going to be using it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this will, I'm sure, have a huge impact to the local community around here.
100% it will. So look, the service is, when this opens up in the very near future, the kind of service it's going to be providing is it's going to be providing trains which are going to get you to Barangaroo in 4 minutes. It's going to provide trains to Martin Place, the heart of the CBD, in 7 minutes. So this kind of thing is really going to connect people in a much more efficient manner.
So down the end of the platform here, there's all danger signs, but this glass door does provide a nice view down the tunnel. There isn't the same thing from the other platform, interestingly. It's just a solid wall, but here it is glass. You can see down the tunnel, and I imagine this will be a fun place to sit when the trains are actually running, because you'll be able to see them coming up the slope into the station. So I say it'll be coming up towards the station, because what these modern stations do, I don't know if you know this, but very often you'll have the platform at one height, and then the tracks will be running at a lower height, and then they slope up to the platform to help the trains decelerate. Likewise, when trains are leaving the station, they'll slope down to help them accelerate faster, and it's a more efficient use of energy. And that's just one of the clever things that a modern rail system such as this will do. And you know, you'll get the same thing on Crossrail, Northern Line extension, whatever, any modern rail system.
Speaking of which, as someone who'd worked on both, I asked Matt how Crossrail and Sydney Metro compared.
Look, they're both very similar in a way that they're both metro systems. They both had a similar amount of track, 16 kilometres of track, similar amount of stations running through the CBD, 6-7 stations. Both had different challenges though. So one challenge I can remember at Crossrail was the ground conditions. London clay.
Yeah.
When you're tunnelling and you're digging holes in London clay, what tends to happen is a lot of settlement, the ground moves.
Yeah.
It causes problem with building, so we had to come up with some inventive ways of managing ground movement.
Pumping grout through tubes and things like that.
Exactly, yes, 100%. In Sydney, you've got Sydney sandstone.
Yeah.
Sydney sandstone is a really good material to be digging tunnels in, and one key reason is because there's hardly any settlement above.
So at this point, I went back upstairs to pick up some freebies, including a build-your-own metro train, which I had mixed success with.
So I'll come into this little quiet corner here. I'm going to do that.
As well as some metro branded pens and a very elaborate station guide.
Oh right, so it shows all the different stations by the looks of things. And then a map there. What's on the other side?
The other side as well.
Wow, okay. Awesome. So they've got a little thing here all about the art within the station and within the metro generally.
My name's Clint and I work for AW Edwards, the builder.
Okay, so how long have you been involved in this project then?
4 years now.
4 years, so quite the transformation in that time, I imagine.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from a hole in the ground with nothing through to what you see here today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the stations looked like this for a while, but there's a difference between a nice, shiny, empty station and a nice, shiny station full of people looking around,
absolutely.
taking pictures.
It's a great thing to see for the community. It's great to have people come and see what's happened, and then hopefully looking forward to opening soon.
So that was the Crow's Nest Station preview day. Clearly a very impressive station as part of an even more impressive infrastructure project set to transform the way Sydney Siders get around when it opens later this year. The exact opening date is unknown, but the rumour I've heard is that it'll be at the end of July.
So there we have it. That is the new Crow's Nest Sydney Metro Station opening later this year. If you enjoy this sort of thing, press like, press subscribe, do the things. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.